Good evening, folks. This is Deb and Dave and their multitude of listeners, whoever the fuck you are. And this is whatever it is. What is this? The Factivist report, which should have been Sunday, but is now Monday, the 24th of October. And you people are driving us fucking nuts. You have to vote. Just let me say that before we start. Okay? Here's Dave.
Please vote. I'm tired of calling you. I'm tired of texting you. I'm tired of knocking on your door. I'm tired of potentially giving myself COVID. I'm tired of it. Vote, damn it.
I'm tired of doing text banking. I'm tired of writing fucking postcards. The time is now, okay?
Okay, so here we go. Now we have, listen, Deb, I agree with Deb. To a certain degree, polls can be skewed all over the place because they're purely statistic driven, and it is based on the data that they get, and they can't cover everything. However, right now, this, which is a bipartisan effort, 538, this is how they're looking at this.
And it ain't looking good.
We have the Republicans, according to them, have an 80% chance of holding between 213 and 247 seats, which means they'll have the majority. 212 is the midpoint. So make this not true. You have to vote for your House rep.
You know what? This is in your hands now, okay? We constantly have people on social media telling the politicians what they have to do, what they have to do, what they have to do. You know what? We all have shit we have to do. You want this to be a better outcome? You need to give the Democrats a better majority. I don't know how to even, frankly, I can't even wrap my fucking head around how anybody can be thinking of voting for fascists besides the people who are Trump supporters, because quite frankly, they're lost. They're lost in the ozone, never to be reasoned with. I'm talking to the fucking rest of you. For
anybody in labor, I've been a labor rep for 15 years, okay? Anybody in labor, anyone who's a minority, anyone who's Black, Native American, Asian,
LGBT,
gay,
transgender,
whatever. Women, if you're voting Republican,
women, 51% of the population are women, okay? 51%.
So here is the reason why this is starting to happen. They've had a couple of polls, they've had some things, they've had things come out, and now this is the New York Times, and I did this in another short show, but I'm going to go over it for a second. Basically, what they're saying is we're going to have fascism because the American public has a short attention span.
Well, yeah.
That's basically what it is. Yeah. That they don't give a shit now about abortion or gay rights or any of this, because now their attention is focused on the economy, which, by the way, what the hell are the Republicans going to do? They already temporarily blocked the debt relief for student debt relief. They temporarily blocked it. So what are they going to do? And crime is another one, which these guys are criminals.
Let me just say something about the
stuff, the economy. Yeah.
Okay. Look, can you please? I ask for this all the time, and I never get a response. I want someone to go back in time and show me when the GOP has addressed the economy for the average man. The GOP has already stated they intend to extend Donald Trump's tax cuts to the wealthiest Americans. The tax cuts that added $7 trillion, spell that, TRILLION, to the fucking debt. They're going to extend those. They are not talking about providing relief for you, the grunt worker. Of course not, because that is not the party that does that. I don't know what you think the GOP is going to do for you, But I urge you to go back and look over the last 20 years because I spent hours on it and I found absolutely zero. You know what? Good luck to you. Okay. That's all I can say.
Right. So what I wanted to just do a little bit on one candidate because I actually know a little bit about him. So we have the New York 11th. Okay. So we have Nicole Maliotakis, who is a Republican, and she is the incumbent, and we have Max Rose running against her. Now, according to this, he has a 5% chance of winning, and the prognostication is that she's 11 points ahead. Now, you have a chance to change that. Whoever is in that district, the 11th district of New York, you have a chance to change that. If these dirtbags can change Fetterman's lead from a double-digit lead to a very slim lead, you can get this guy in. Here's why, okay? So
Oh,
she,
Jesus H. Christ. Right there, that would be a deal breaker for me.
right,
Taking a picture with Rudy Giuliani.
she's already on board for a nationwide LGBTQ ban. I mean, you can't mention it. It's don't say gay, not in schools, but in federal buildings. Okay.
People for real. You're going to elect people like this, all because you think they're going to fix the economy? Okay. Yeah. I would love to think the American public is intelligent, but I really actually don't.
So
if I'm insulting you, too bad.
I see. Is it gonna do it? I sent this to her, by the way. This was the oh, no. Oh, are you gonna do it? Well, anyway, I'll put the link in there. For some reason it's going weird. But Nicole, Maliotakis is poised to co-sponsor a national ban on the mention of gays. I can't. Now, there are several. This actually, I had 3 articles in here about why Republicans are so extreme. This is more international kind of thing. Then you have the Atlantic, but I'm going to focus on the Hill because I did a whole show on the Tea Party, and this is basically what they're saying is this is the offshoot, the radical offshoot of the Tea Party. Okay. So, and the Hill's right. And let me credit this story to Navin Nayak. Now, this is an opinion piece, but it is an informed opinion piece. From fringe to the forefront, an extremist takeover of the GOP. Extremism isn't unique to the United States. Virtually every developed democratic country in the world has an extremist element or party that is metastasized over the past decade. However, in the United States is relatively unique in its way. Extremists now lead one of just 2 major political parties, and that's the Republican Party. Over a decade ago, extremists were on the fringe of the Republican Party. Today, MAGA Republicans have taken over their party and are pushing an agenda that would dismantle America, stripping away rights and freedoms that have held core to the American identity for decades and even centuries. And by the way, this whole the election was stolen thing is not a joke. They're taking away your right to vote. They're saying your vote is not legitimate if they don't win. That is a key to democracy.
Say something to you. Eric Trump went on there just recently and said to everybody that the Republican Party was now the party of Trump. Just understand that that's who you're voting for.
Yeah.
That's what you're voting for if you're voting for the Republican Party. If you think this party holds any hope, You have literally got a person like Lauren Boebert who can't even count how many words she's saying.
Right.
You expect her to help you fix the economy? Marjorie Taylor Greene? Oh, they're going to fix things all right. You won't like it, but they're going to fix things.
Yeah. This is not a new concept. This started with the Tea Party. And I just want to read this next paragraph. In 2010, with the emergence of the Tea Party movement, fringe U.S. Senate candidates like Sharon Angle of Nevada, Christine O'Donnell of Delaware, do you remember her?
Oh, yeah.
And Ken Buck of Colorado. Just because one leaves doesn't mean that more are going to pour in. Ken Buck of Colorado emerged as lightning rods within their own party, upsetting establishment candidates. Angle wanted to shutter the education department and wipe out Social Security, describing the latter as a system of the nation's wicked ways, while O'Donnell and Buck staunchly opposed abortion, even in the cases of rape and incest. And we have candidate after candidate after candidate. We have candidates in my state running on that platform. Garbarino. We have the guy running for governor.
We have Matt Gaetz calling for us to get rid of the Department of Education. We have Ron Johnson talking about getting rid of Social Security and Medicare, and not just Ron Johnson. You know what? It's several of those people. When they're telling you what they are, believe them. And if you think that getting rid of Social Security and Medicare is going to help the economy, you better think again. We have disabled people and seniors who live on that. I live on Social Security. You want all those people on the street? You hate seeing the homeless out there, don't you? Well, get fucking used to it.
And by the way, I'm not going to focus on it solely, but the courts are helping dismantle watchdog organizations like the EPA or the Consumer Financial Protection Board. They are blocking aid like the student loan forgiveness, which, by the way, only allows you to go back and take advantage from when you should have been able to take advantage of it. That's all that is. So, and there are other, like one-shot deals. I don't know which thing they're going after, if probably all of it.
Kevin McCarthy has vowed to block any more aid to the Ukraine. You understand what that means? Everybody okay with that? You're all a bunch of Putin lovers from what I can see. I mean, at least the Republicans are.
Right.
You good with that? We're gonna continue to elevate despots around the globe.
Now we know that Republicans, their sole goal has been for many years now to block the Democrats. So you know that if Republicans are now endorsing candidates like Murkowski endorsing Paltola in Alaska, or Liz Cheney endorsing Katie Hobbs in Arizona, you know things are bad. So there are
also Republicans for Fetterman. There are Republicans for Shapiro.
Yep. For a lot of them.
The Republican Party doesn't want this. The people who were the rational Republicans in the Republican Party, they're now gone. They don't want this either.
Right.
There is no hope for this party as it is now.
Now I have some lists. Some of these lists are from Republican sources or conservative sources like Newsweek, the Washington Examiner, all that. I'm cool with it because it's lagging. This is why I'm talking. I'm cool with that because it's factual. I'm not going to bother with Washington Examiner, opinion pieces. But if they just give me a list of people that, said something, yeah, that's fine. So hold on. Okay. This is another one, the growing signs for Democrats in 2022. And another one, Washington Post. They're talking about the fact that we won special elections in the beginning, but these special elections, you're back to having to run them again, like with Peltola. You know, this is part of it. I think that this midterm is different. I don't know if people are going to link all of the Democrats to Biden or not. But first off, after the election, we will go into what Biden has been able to do. I'm sick and tired of hearing that Biden did nothing. The things that Biden couldn't do, he didn't do because he was blocked.
I've been posting everything that Biden has done.
Yeah.
Every day. You know what? If you can read, go fucking look for it. I'm sick of media. And you know what? If the Democrats are worried about this is slipping away, what are you worried about? It's in your control.
Just vote. Do
something about it.
A big part of they make a huge deal out of this Monmouth poll.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I stopped looking at polls. This is around the time when I stopped looking at all this. Right now, I just push ahead. I don't look at polls anymore after today.
But what I'm saying is, render them obsolete.
Yep.
You have the power to change this stuff. So this is here are Republicans backing Democrats over MAGA candidates. Who's the first Yahoo? That was J.D. Vance.
Oh, he's fucking
okay. So here's just a list of them. Arizona. So we talk, Mark Fincham, the guy who, is running for Secretary of State and trashes the election process when the whole purpose, other than being kind of like the second in charge in that state, in case the governor has to, do something or be away, he would be acting governor. The whole thing is to make sure that that there is election integrity in the state. And he wants to run the whole thing. So we have Kansas throwing their support behind Governor Laura Kelly against Derek Schmidt, who was a Trump-endorsed candidate. So this is former Governor Mike Hayden and Bill Graves, who held office from 1995. So these are former GOP governors, okay, endorsing the Democratic candidate. Now, they're endorsing her because of bipartisan leadership, but it's against the Trump candidate. So
no bipartisanship in the Republican Party now. None.
No, none.
Okay, there is no coming to the table and talking. They don't do that anymore. That's gone.
Right.
All right. You can forget that bullshit.
So we have Kendra Horn against another Trump-backed candidate, Mark Wayne Mullen. All right. If you see a pattern, then we have Pennsylvania throwing support behind Shapiro. Mastriano is dangerous. He really is.
Mastriano has also had several people from the intelligence community, from the military, say he's unfit for public office.
Yeah.
Largely because of his, actually, I don't know, I forget where it is exactly he graduated from, but
right.
Now they're going to review how they give out degrees because of his positions on certain things.
Right.
When you have a school that's looking now at whether or not they should have actually given him that degree, that's pretty bad.
That's a problem. So we have, Texas, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, seeking re-election, but GOP Republicans, high-profile Republicans, have supported his opponent, Mike Collier. So Patrick, again, is endorsed by Trump. So these guys are rejecting Trump-endorsed candidates, as well they should, honestly. I just threw this in here, and we did a piece on this before, This is part of the reason why Mastriano is considered dangerous as well. He went to the Reawaken tour, which is a QAnon-linked conspiracy tour, along with Roger Stone and this quack, God's cryptocurrency chiropractor, Bo Polney. I can't. He's also, supported anti-Semitic causes, etc. So that's Doug Mastriano. As I said, Lisa Murkowski.
Wear Confederate uniforms.
Yeah, that's what kind of just pushed it over the edge for them. Lisa Murkowski, who is a sitting, has a seat, says she will vote for Peltola and rank her first on her ballot. They have ranked choice voting in Alaska. That is huge. She's putting her career on the line for that.
I've already done that.
Yeah. This is doing it more. But so, and who is Peltola running against? One of the original threats to our nation, Sarah Palin.
From the Tea
who was
Party.
from the Tea Party. One of the founders of the nightmare. I just put this in again. I'll put this in over and over again. How can you vote for somebody who doesn't even believe in the process? How? 147, and it's now more. You said 190 something, I think, because of the people who are running.
Yep.
And we will get to some of the numbers at the end. So I'm going to do something on three races just to make a point. We have Tim Ryan, who's been in the Ohio House for 20 years, since 2002. He's running against an author and entrepreneur, J.D. Vance. Now,
and a crack.
That too.
That one.
So watch the YouTube video. If you guys are interested, watch the YouTube video. It's 8 minutes. It'll tell you everything. I'm going to go through a lot of it anyway. We have J.D. Vance, who helped fund the defense for one of the insurrectionists. I believe it was it Crenshaw? I think it was Crenshaw.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. But we also have J.D. Vance, who, very charitable gentleman, right? Had an anti-drug not-for-profit that had the very people who created the problem that he's trying to fix involved in the not-for-profit, and very, very soon thereafter shuttered the thing.
Right.
Okay.
Everything's a renewal with the Republicans. Our Ohio renewal.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read this real quick so people get the idea. So this is by Julie Carr Smith. This is AP from August 18th, 2022. So Vance's anti-drug charity enlisted Dr. Echoing Big Pharma. I'll read the first couple of paragraphs. You'll get the idea. When J.D. Vance founded Our Ohio Renewal, that was the name of the not-for-profit. A day after the 2016 presidential election, he promoted the charity as a vehicle for helping solve the scourge of an opioid addiction that he had lamented in his book, Hillbilly Elegy, his best-selling memoir. But Vance shuttered the non-for-profit last year and its foundation in May, shortly after clinching the state's Republican nomination for U.S. Senate. According to state records reviewed by the Associated Press. An AP review found that the charity's most notable accomplishment, sending an addiction specialist to Ohio's Appalachian region for a year-long residency, was tainted by ties among the doctor at the institute that employed her and Purdue Pharma, the manufacturer of OxyContin. That is the Sacklers, who was involved in the OxyContin scandal in the first place, who said that OxyContin was not addictive, right, and got involved in a huge scandal on this. So this is more about it if you want to know more about it from ProPublica. And you know ProPublica is pretty thorough with stuff like this.
Yep.
So
really great.
Yep. Now we have John Fetterman. Okay. He recently did an interview. You guys probably know about it. He's running for the Pennsylvania House, and it's Senate. I'm sorry, for the Senate. Apologies. And he was very candid, and he talked about his recent stroke and what he's going through and the accommodations that he needs and all of that. Here is something from the Lehigh Valley Live. Okay, I'm going to read this whole thing. And I want you guys to absorb this. John, and this is from, stop it. I want to see where it's from or what date. Yeah.
It's a letter to the editor.
It's a letter to, it's, okay. So I just wanted to see the date. October 12th, 2022. It's a letter. John Fetterman lacks the qualifications to be Pennsylvania's next senator. Read the whole thing. As a longtime independent, I vote the candidate, not the party. Every election, I do research on the candidates. So when it comes to the open seat here in Pennsylvania, I can not support by any metric John Fetterman. Simply put, he has no qualifications to hold even a local elected position, let alone a U.S. Senate seat. He was a mayor. He would. I'm getting there. I'm not burying the lead. Don't give away the punchline.
You're fucking doomed.
Simply put, he has no qualifications to hold even a local elected position, let alone the U.S. Senate seat. He was the mayor of a small borough, not a town or city, as he alludes, but a borough so small it would be a section of a real, not small, not even average town. Okay. Braddock has approximately 1,700 residents and lost population under Fetterman. By comparison, the township of whatever, the town that I live in has approximately 2,700 residents, and we're growing. Fetterman has virtually no resume, as he has no full-time work experience, and even a lieutenant governor is essentially a part-time position because apparently this guy knows. Fetterman had used his tenure there to promote marijuana legislation, not exactly a priority for Pennsylvania's, especially during a year-long pandemic. I would beg to differ for some Pennsylvanians at least. What's worse, as lieutenant governor,
are you frozen? You are. We're frozen. We're frozen. I'm singing to you.
Lockdowns. If elected, best hope would, as a senator, he would continue the absence from.
You know what? You keep
responsibility streak, Braddock, and out of DC. Now, hobbies, agenda. Yeah.
You know what? Let me just say something here, okay? We think Dr. Oz is qualified.
Exactly. Well, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going with this. This is David Kervergus. I didn't check him out.
Again, you know something? This is what my problem is when we show shit like this. This is some fucking nitwit.
Yeah, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. We have Dr. freaking Oz, who is a performer. He is a performing doctor and supplement salesman. He has never been a mayor of a small town. He has never been lieutenant governor. You just said that this man did nothing, but you don't like the fact of how he dealt with issues.
You don't like how he dealt with the lockdown? It's called fucking public health. You know something? This is an old topic now. You know something? You know what? The pandemic bother you? Tough shit. You know what? This is life as we know it. And this is not going to be the only time this is going to happen to people when we have people who travel all around the world and bring back shit to everybody. That's the way this works out. I've had it 3 times now. Okay. I'm tired of hearing it. The lockdown was called public health. That's number 1. Number 2, we have Dr. Oz who goes on TV and talks about drinking his own pee and saying it was required in medical school. We have Dr. Oz now he's selling beds, mattresses, and whatever with his name on it. He's got 14 fucking properties, including a mansion in Miami, which he pays no taxes on. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of it all.
So here's my point. Who is Dr. Oz? Want to know about ex-TV show host running for Pennsylvania Senate. Everything she said.
We didn't learn our lesson when we elected a fucking goddamn carnival barker from reality television. Now we get Dr. Oz. Jesus Christ.
And by the way, you have, and this is where I'm going, because apparently I'm freezing and all sorts of weirdness is happening. But just let me know if I'm freezing so that I can stop talking. But these three that I'm talking about, you have Tim Ryan, who's been in office for 20 years, versus the hillbilly elegy author, okay, J.D. Vance. You have John Fetterman, who has held public office, running against a celebrity TV show host and supplement salesman. And you have Katie Hobbs, Secretary of State of Arizona, who is responsible not only to hold down the fort if the governor leaves, but also, hold on, let me get off that, but also to make sure there is election integrity in her state. Okay. So we just did Tim Ryan and we just did John Fetterman. Okay. Now we have Katie Hobbs, who you think Deb's upset about Fetterman. Wait until we get into Katie Hobbs, because Katie Hobbs has been doing the job. Katie Hobbs's job is to make sure that there is election integrity in Arizona. She's running against a woman who will not accept the results of the election unless she wins. She said it. Carrie Lake has said that she will not accept the election results unless she wins, because no one will vote for a coward like Katie Hobbs. And she's
also said that the requirement to run as a member of the GOP should be if you are willing to state only that the Republicans had the election stolen.
Right.
But from Donald Trump. That's what she believes should be a requirement for the Republican Party. She's a fucking crackhead, okay? She's a former fucking TV show host again.
Well, news commentator for Fox, whatever. But
shit.
Here's what I will say. If you are in Nevada and you are watching this show, you need to vote for Katie Hobbs.
Arizona.
Did I say Nevada? I did that again. Arizona, sorry. Apparently, I'm starting to get loopy with all this crap. Arizona, you have to vote for Katie Hobbs. You have to. Because if not, the election integrity will be out the window. Another candidate who is being endorsed by a Republican in Liz Cheney. Okay. Liz Cheney, who, by the way, disagrees with us and Democrats on 90% of everything. But she's willing to concede a state gubernatorial race to keep Carrie Lake out. Because Carrie Lake is a threat to democracy. Period.
By the way, Liz Cheney has stated, I read today, that if Donald Trump is the nominee, God forbid that the Republican Party will splinter.
Yeah.
And
it will.
And there will be a new Republican Party that comes to that at some point. But that might not be until we are all suffering in a fucking fascist gulag here.
Right.
People really need to understand what's at stake here. And I'm afraid that people are so self-absorbed and so worried about just what affects them.
Right.
That they're just not going to see this. That's just like Nazi Germany. That's the way it looked in Germany too. Oh no,
Yep.
You know what? I got to make sure that I can have all my creature comforts. What happens if I don't get to make as much money next year? We can't go on vacation. Well, you know what? Don't worry about that so much. You won't have any problem with that. I just can't even. All right?
I'm going to run through this thing. I'm going to run through the logic. I just gave the pitch, but this is where we're at. Okay. This is the official description of the Secretary of State position in Arizona. The Arizona Secretary of State's office is charged with a number of important state functions, including as acting governor when the governor is absent from the state. However, like lieutenant governors in other states, the Secretary of State is first in line to succeed the governor in the event of death, resignation, or removal from office. But the highest profile duty of the office is oversight and administration of secure and accurate elections. So you have Carrie Lake running for governor, who says you can't run unless you think that the election was a fraud in 2020. And then you have Mark Fincham, who is running for this very seat, who believes in denialism. So I want people to understand this when we get into it. The New York Times and some other papers, and they're saying that Katie Hobbs is hurting her candidacy by not debating Carrie Lake. Why legitimize somebody who spits in the face of the very position that you've held these past years? Why?
Right. Katie Hobbs was the Secretary of State. She certified the election for Biden. That is all that Carrie Lake is going to talk about. When Carrie Lake debated in the primaries, that's all she talked about was 2020. She addressed none of the issues because she can't address any of the issues because she knows fucking nothing about the issues. Because in general, the Republicans don't care about your issues. They care about their power.
Liz Cheney, warns Arizona voters that the GOP nominees for governor and secretary of state are threats to democracy because they spit in the face of elections. And this is what fascists do. They make it a sham. You see it in Florida. You see it in Florida with what DeSantis is doing, arresting people for trying to vote. Okay.
People of color, by the way, I might add.
Now this is okay. So there are a couple of videos. I'm gonna post this video. This is a Good Morning America interview, and they are interviewing Katie Hobbs, and she's exasperated by this whole thing. She's like, "Listen, it's a waste of time to debate this woman because she does not believe in the election process. It's ridiculous." It's exactly what she said. Now, she's a petite woman. It seems like a petite woman. She has a higher pitched voice. She seems overly feminine. You see where I'm going? So she's a weak candidate. And we had Project-Factivist, couple of political operatives, surprise her as she's eating lunch, and they taped it. And she was trying to get away from them. She like spilled her drink, and they're like, "Oh, she's a weak candidate," and all this. You know, she's not strong enough to fight. And we need a strong woman if we're going to have a woman. Don't buy into that crap, okay?
You know who Project Veritas is, am I right? Everybody understand who that is? That's James O'Keefe.
That's okay. James O'Keefe and
He's
Charlie Kirk.
Who creates the situations he covers. That's not what a legitimate news operation does, okay? James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, there's nothing Veritas about any fucking thing they do. Nothing, okay? God almighty, how anybody can call them a news organization is beyond me.
All right. And this is USA Today, okay? Are you aware of the chaos election deniers will bring? Let Carrie Lake be a warning siren. She said it. She said that she won't accept the election results unless she wins, because no one would vote for a coward like, I'm going to win the election and I will accept that result. Okay? I'm going to win the election. I will accept the result because the people of Arizona will never support and vote for a coward like Katie Hobbs. Now, again, if you guys want to see that Project Veritas video, it's on YouTube. You can search for it. I'm not giving them any freaking, I'm not giving them any buzz, any likes, any of that. I did watch it. No one knows what happened behind her. Whatever happened, he scared the living hell out of her. Okay, I don't know what he did, but it made her look weak. And she's a coward because she ran away from reporters. They're not reporters.
He didn't make her look weak. What it is they put the spin on that. That's what they did.
Okay. And these people are election deniers. And why would you give credence to people who are fraudsters? You're just giving credence to the fraud. I agree with Katie Hobbs, and I applaud her for being, for sticking to her guns on this.
By the way, I have heard that there are armed people intimidating voters in Arizona.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting there too. I think. I just
saw that for the first time today.
Yeah, that was part of. I don't know if Fetterman was part of it, but I heard that that's part of it. 60% of Americans will have an election denier on the ballot this fall.
Look at Massachusetts. We're loaded with them.
And by the way, look at Nevada. Look at Nevada right there.
Yeah. Look at Texas.
Boom, boom, boom.
Look at Florida.
Texas.
Look at Pennsylvania. Look at Ohio. Look at Michigan. All of the states that they target as swing states. They have owned those states so that they can control the election. Do you understand what's going on here? You figured this out yet? Your tiny little minds going yet? You got the gerbils awake? You better. Jesus Christ.
Come on.
I don't know how much more clear you need it to be.
Now, there's these stories. Democrats worry Katie Hobbs is stumbling in Arizona's governor race.
Yeah, shut
I don't know what they want her to do, but I understand what she's doing. Now, I hope she wins this. She should win this. If you guys want voter integrity, You got to keep this woman out if we can keep this woman out. Keep Mark Fincham out and keep Carrie Lake out. Katie Hobbs has been in office. She's done the job. She certified the election in Arizona for Biden. Okay, she did the job. She did what she was supposed to do. She knows what it is. She knows that Katie Hobbs and Mark Fincham aren't doing the job. She also knows Liz Cheney knows it as well.
And by the way,
a Republican.
You let all of these election deniers in, and I promise you, that is the last fair election you are going to see. If you think you're going to be able to right this ship in 2024, you can forget it. It will not happen. It will not happen. I will stand on that. And if I'm wrong, you can come back and harass me. But I'm willing to say there will be no righting this ship in 2024. It'll be too fucking late if you don't take care of 2022.
I understand that this is MSNBC, but I don't care. It's on tape. It's on tape. Mark Fincham admits the big lie is a fraud during the Arizona debate. He admits it. And Mark Fincham, by the way, is an oath keeper.
Yeah. Go ahead. By the way, let me just say this. There is a group of activists trying to take over a section of Nevada's GOP party. Activists from the Proud Boys. I don't think you people really understand what's going on here, but you better get a clue. I will put the article in this too.
Okay, so here's another group. Here's another group. In a debate with his Democratic opponent Thursday, Fincham was caught essentially admitting that the big lie about 2020 was just a right-wing fraud, ruse, whatever. When a debate moderator challenged Fincham to explain the material differences between his primary election in August and the 2020 election, which he decried as fraudulent, Fincham first claimed to have no idea before owning up to the true answer. The candidates, he said. Hat tip to Arizona Right Wing Watch. So this is another one. I'll put this in here as a source. There are Republican groups who are watchdogs, social media watchdogs. These guys are Republicans. Okay. Mark Fincham asked why he accepted the 2022 primary results, even though voting in Arizona is the same as it was in 2020.
Because he won. That's what he should have said.
Exactly. Was the August midterm election fair? I have no idea. What changed? The candidates.
He's a fucking idiot.
So there you go. At around a minute long, the clip is a perfect length for a television commercial. Arizona Democrats would be wise to make it one. Please. Fincham's remarks are the perfect encapsulation of the GOP's hypocrisy on election issues. And yes, I have heard that there is intimidation of Arizona voters right now. And please, do mail-in ballots. I mean, I think it's too late at this point. But, we can't be intimidated. We can't. This is too. So here's a couple of other groups. This is a bulwark. Now this is about Katie Hobbs. The issue with Katie Hobbs is that it's not with Katie Hobbs, it's with the voters. They look at style over substance. They look, Katie looks scared. Can she do the job? Look, Carrie looks strong. Really? No.
Ick. Sorry.
Exactly. Friggin' ridiculous.
By the way, ladies, let me just say this, okay? Let me address all the ladies out there. In case you're wondering just where the women of the GOP stand on women, Lauren Boebert described women last night as the lesser vessel who require men to get it right. Just so you understand where they're coming from here. You want to set yourselves back? You go right the fuck ahead. I'm not going with you, though.
Oh, Bobert might be a lesser vessel.
You
Jesus.
know what? But that's the way they think, because Marjorie Taylor Greene has echoed the same thing. We are our husband's wives.
Husbands' wives. Yep.
Except for now, she's not her husband's wife because he's divorcing her because she fucks around on him all the time. I just can't even. I can't.
By the way, she is touted to be Trump's supposed or like presumptive vice presidential running mate.
What, are you kidding me? He's already picked her for fucking the DOJ. He wants her to have
really?
the DOJ.
Oh, maybe I'll have her run both.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll have her. Why not? You know.
Marjorie Taylor Greene as the new Merrick Garland. You got to be fucking kidding me. You got to be fucking kidding me. I just
wanted to shout out the Lincoln Project once again.
Yeah,
I do want to say that, and I believe Deb might have a few other groups. There are some Republican groups that are willing to call this out, at least call the extremism out. You may not.
Is one of them actually. They're pretty.
Yeah.
I read them every day, actually.
Yeah, I saw a lot of it. I did notice the Katie Hobbs thing. They're not saying that Katie Hobbs is wrong. They're saying that she's the better candidate, but they're saying that she did make some missteps in the campaign. Because just because you are the better candidate doesn't necessarily mean you're the candidate that the voters are going to vote for, because the voters are easily dupable. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
I don't want to use the STUPID word because.
Stupid? Oh,
yeah.
Let me use it. No.
I don't want to get banned on YouTube or Twitter.
I'm not going to be
or
nice
Facebook.
about it. I don't give a fuck what they think. I'm done with this now.
I can't. I don't understand what the hang up is. What people don't get. It's easy. It's simple.
Oh, I know what they don't get. Oh, that's not going to happen here. Oh, we've gone from the logic of they'll never overturn Roe v. Wade. Now it's they'll never get rid of Social Security. Well, how many things do you need them to take away before you figure it out?
When they get rid of free and fair elections, maybe.
Oh, I don't know, because you know what? This is your last shot, folks. Enjoy yourselves.
Right. So,
are we done?
Hold on. Let me stop. Come on. Okay, it won't let me stop sharing.
Oh.
There we go, I think.
There we go.
All right. But that's what I have. That's what I have this week. Listen, I don't know what we're going to continue over and over and over again. You got to vote. Well, they got to give us something. They can't give you anything unless you put them in. And the Republicans know that. The more that's offered, the more the Republicans are going to frickin' block. Okay. Student loan forgiveness will help a lot of people.
You know what? Let me just say this. I don't understand that. I'm tired of hearing that. You know what? We need to add more people to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Right. And then they need to do that before we can vote Democrat. Well, how about this? The GOP stacked the Supreme Court.
Right.
With the intent of overturning Roe v. Wade. They rammed candidates through. How about you stop voting for the GOP based on that instead of worrying about what the Democrats can do in light of all that? There's nothing they can do with what they did with Roe v. Wade. The Democrats can't go back in and vacate a Supreme Court decision. The only people that can vacate that is the Supreme Court.
Right.
How much more do you need? You are willing to not vote Democrat based on what they can't do because you allowed the Republicans to win in 2016. Hey, you know what? What the fuck? Are you awake? Just don't even go there. It's like sheer utter stupidity.
It's just, yeah, it's this.
Just buy a gun and shoot yourself in the fucking foot, okay? The GOP will love you for it.
By the way, you're able to buy a gun anywhere now, so
Go ahead. You can't
have
have
at
a
it.
Handmaid's Tale, but if you're 16 years old, you can fucking buy a gun and go shoot up your friends in case they piss you off. I don't even get it. You worried about your kids? Are you? Yeah. You ought to worry about it.
I also, you know what? I almost put that in there. I believe it was a Texas hospital. Somebody got a gun, went into a hospital, and shot and killed 2 hospital workers. Can we limit the amount of places? Can we say that you can't bring a gun into a damn hospital? Can we say that? Can we say you can't bring a gun into a stadium or into a church? Can we say that? What was this?
Because now the Supreme Court is attacking Kathy Hochul's
law.
What happened to states' rights? See, that's what's all going to go away, folks. You understand that? Under fascism, there is no safe state. So get a clue, okay?
Yep.
Get a clue.
I live in New York.
States. It'll be all red states.
Yep. I live in New York. I knew the second that she put that in, I knew it was going to be challenged. I knew it. And by the way, you have Clarence over there who is saying it's okay to blow off a subpoena because you're a congressperson, but no, you can't set your
unilaterally. He did that on his own. He made that decision on his own. Okay, that wasn't even the whole Supreme Court.
He needs to go.
Yeah, he does. And you know what? Don't tell me he needs to go today, because guess what? You have to deliver a majority before that's going to happen.
That's like 70 votes. That's like 70 votes, isn't it?
Well, come on, people. Wake up. You want change? Vote for it. You know what? Vote as if your life depends on it, because it kind of fucking does.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, enjoy yourselves, you bunch of fucking yokels. I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna get off here now before
this, my friends, is why we're fucked.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful evening.
Yeah. You people really piss me off. Have a nice night.